Good morning. Welcome to the Gadsden City Council meeting today. I would like to remind everyone to please make sure that all cell phones are turned to the off or vibrate position. Also, please be advised our City Council meetings are broadcast on Comcast Channel 99, AT&T UVerse, and the City of Gadsden YouTube channel. This meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order. The chair calls on City Clerk Ivan Nelson for the roll call.
Councilwoman Latham.
Present.
Councilman Smith.
Here.
Councilman Avery.
Here.
Councilman Back.
Here.
Councilman Wilson.
Here.
Councilwoman Minatra.
Here.
And Councilman Robinson.
Here.
We have a quorum present and our meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask Councilman Smith to lead the invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Lord, we come to you once again the humblest way we know how, come with bowed heads and humbled hearts. God, thanking you first of all for a beautiful resurrection day on Sunday, just a beautiful season that we're in. Our Lord and Savior will still be walking the earth for 40 more days. Lord, we just thank you for this day that we get to serve the great citizens of Gadsden, Alabama. We ask for your wisdom, your insight, your know-how, that we can lead these people. And as Solomon prayed, give us a wise and understanding heart. We thank you for Mayor Ford, his staff. We thank you for the City Council, every department head. God, they help us to do what we do for the citizens. And we give you all the praise, all the glory, and all the honor. We ask it all in the matchless name of Jesus, we pray. And all that agree said amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the Community Development Committee, Public Safety Committee, work session, and council meetings held on March 26.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
The chair will entertain a motion to ratify payment of accounts for the week of March 22nd through the 28th.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
Item 7 on our agenda is reserved for proclamations and commendations. I believe Mayor Ford has some this morning.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council. Today's a great day. I just got back from Gadsden State, groundbreaking for the baseball and the softball fields, and it was quite an experience and a great day in history. We're bringing back athletics. So City of Gadsden, the council, and our office has had a lot to do with that, and they were very thankful and appreciative of that, but I wanted to report to y'all how well that went also.
Wonderful.
Today we have 2 proclamations. And I want to present a challenge coin to somebody special that's helped us a lot with a Humane Society. Chief Crane, would you please come forward, please? I want to say Chief Crane took over when we took over with the Humane Society. I realized we had a contract with them, and we did a lot of rehabbing the facility. Let's put it that way. And we want to all take care of our furry animals and I'll do all we can for them. And I want to thank Chief Crane for hanging in there with us. And he has decided to retire again. And he has retired. But he is still available for help, and he still helps us out at the Humane Society. But I can't tell you how much help he has helped us with our furry animals in the community and what we've been able to do at the Humane Society. And we're in partnership with the City of Attala and others. And Chief, we just want to say thank you for what you did. Thank you. Sir. Yes, sir. Do you want to say anything?
Yes.
Yes.
First of all, I'd like to tell that I truly appreciate the board, City Council, and the mayor for the opportunity to serve the Humane Society and for the support that I've received ever since I've been there. But I got to give credit where credit's due. We've made a lot of accomplishments there, but we couldn't have done it without the staff. And so they're really the ones that make things work. Thank y'all again. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief.
This would be a good picture with a policeman. So, Chief Jaggers, you got a lot to live up to. We'll see you at the Humane Society when you retire. All right, here's another proclamation. This is a good friend of mine and my father's, and I think everybody in the room. If you know this gentleman, he's been a pillar of the community and still is, and he's been a big influence on me in my life personally. But Ronnie Reed, where are you? Come on up here, please. You can tell he wasn't expecting this. How many in the room know who Ronnie Reed is? Look at there. That's great. I want to present this proclamation. It says, whereas Ronnie Reed was born on February 29, 1944 in Gadsden, Alabama. He was educated in the local school system, graduating from Emma Sampson High School in 1962. Mr. Reed has been a valued citizen of Gadsden his entire life. He worked at Goodyear Tire and Rubber for 45 years. He served on the executive board of Local 12 for Goodyear for 12 years and has been on the Goodyear Safety Committee for 20 years. He also coached both local youth football and basketball for over 25 years. He was appointed by 2 different governors to the Gadsden Civil Service Board, in which he served for 10 years. He also currently serves on the Board of Directors for Family Savings Credit Union. Mr. Ronnie Reed is a dedicated husband, father, uncle, and friend, and is an active member of Dwight Baptist Church. There are many words to describe Ronnie Reed, but respected, honorable, and loyal are the first that come to mind. And now, therefore, I, Craig Ford, Mayor of Gadsden, Alabama, do hereby join with the Gadsden City Council in proclaiming Thursday, February 29, 2024, as Ronnie Reed Day in the city of Gadsden, honoring Mr. Ronnie Reed on his 80th birthday for being a man who freely gives his time and energy to the betterment of the great city and his community as a whole. Thank you, Ronnie. Tracy, get up here. You want to say something?
No. Just thank you. I don't deserve any of this, but
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you.
What a good guy.
Thank you, Ronnie. And I'm going to ask Ms. Ruth Moffitt to come up here. This is an important resolution regarding CDBG. If y'all are familiar with it, I'm going to let Ruth explain it and read it because I can only read so much. Yeah.
Well, good morning, everyone, and it is a great day. I'm excited to present this proclamation. I'm going to ask Christy Riley if she'll come up and stand here with me as we present this proclamation. It is Community Development Week this week, and the proclamation will sum up some of the stuff. Come on up here, Christy, and stand beside me. It says, whereas the week of April the 1st through April 5th has been designated as National Community Development Week to celebrate the Community Development Block Grant Program, and whereas the CDBG program has operated since 1974 to provide local governments with the resources required to primarily meet the needs of low-income and moderate-income residents, and whereas the CDBG program provides annual funding and flexibility to local communities to provide decent, safe, affordable housing, a suitable living environment, and economic opportunities to low and moderate-income people, and whereas the CDBG program has provided Alabama with important and flexible assistance to meet the needs of low to moderate income residents of small cities by funding sewer, water, and street improvement projects, along with economic development projects and other public improvement projects. Whereas over the past 3 years, the City of Gadsden has received a total of $3,029,685 in community development block grant funds and has funded a variety of projects that have directly benefited our citizens and neighborhoods. And now, therefore, Craig Ford, Mayor of Gadsden, Alabama, do hereby join the City of Gadsden City Council in proclaiming the week of April 1st through the 5th as National Community Development Week in the city of Gadsden in support of this valuable program that has made tremendous contributions to the viability of the housing stock, infrastructure, public services, and economic well-being of our community. Be it therefore resolved that our community urges Congress and the Biden administration to recognize the outstanding work done locally, nationally with CDBG by supporting increased funding for the program for fiscal year 2025. And I'm going to present this to Christy Riley and for all the great work that our community development program is doing.
So I want to say something about Christy. Y'all know Christy. Iva let us borrow her and take her from the clerk's office. And she has just taken off on roller skates with CDBG. She has done wonderful. And so, Christy, we want to thank you for your work, for what you do. And I want to thank Ruth for what she does. When we went to Washington and Congresswoman Sewell came into the room the night of the reception, her first thing was, how's Ruth doing? And I said, Ruth who? And she said, you're Ruth. And so, I mean, Ruth has made an impact with CDBG all the way from D.C. to here. And we're in compliance now, and we're moving ahead with this. So this is fantastic of what's going on with CDBG. So, Mr. President, would you come down here,
Yes.
please? We have something very special today. And can I announce after council? No? Okay. Sorry. I can't announce something. So, you see, Brittany tells me what to do, which is a good thing. But this is something very sentimental, but I told a group today of classroom kids that came, and I wanted to mention them, the Scholars Bowl team from Gadsden Middle School. They're headed up to Chicago to compete. When they were asking me about what's it like to be mayor, and I said, well, the real mayor is this lady named Iva Nelson. And y'all, let me tell you the importance of her. She's been here 40 years. So I'd like for everybody just to think, where were you 40 years ago? I was 15 years old and in trouble. So that'll probably tell you something. But Iva, I want to say thank you to you and what you've done for our city and for the people, the kids, the adults, and you have helped the quality of life and enhanced the people of Gadsden for 40 years of service. And you always, you always tell a good leader. You always give credit to your predecessor, and you always mention everybody that came before you, who taught you, and just what a joy it is to have you. And let me tell you, I hope you serve another 40 years. And I really do. And I know the council does also. But you're just a, as a man, you say prince of a gentleman, you're just a queen of a lady. But I just want to say thank you and what you mean to me. Yeah. So I'm going to ask President Back. Of course, he wants to be a part of this, and so does the whole council. But he's going to represent the council and myself and read this proclamation, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Well, before I read it, I just got a personal note. Iva, thank you so much. It's you serve on the city council and you realize there's a lot of moving parts in a big city like Gadsden, 500 or so employees and myriad of laws and rules that aren't common in the private sector, and you have to learn those. And so what I found out real quick, and all of us have found out, that Iva Nelson knows all the answers. And I even found out from the Alabama League of Municipalities, they have a legal office, and they very often, those attorneys call Iva Nelson when they have a really hard question because they need a really good answer. And so she is the go-to person, not only at City Hall for all of us. Y'all, she's the go-to person for the state of Alabama. Every city clerk knows who Iva Nelson is. The attorneys in Montgomery know who Iva Nelson is, and we are proud to have you as our city clerk, and you've been a blessing to the city, blessing to this council, and on behalf of all the council, we love you and we just appreciate all that you do for us. Thank you so much. So now, let me see here. All right, this is from the City of Gadsden, a proclamation. Whereas Miss Iva Nelson began her service with the City of Gadsden on March 23rd, 1984, marking the beginning of an illustrious journey of dedication and service that has spanned 4 remarkable decades. And whereas Miss Iva's journey of service began with humble beginnings, but her passion for clerical work, nurtured by her mentor Martha Elrod, propelled her to excel in her role and become a guiding light for others within the community. And whereas she started as a clerk typist with the City of Gadsden, she soon progressed to secretary in 1986, executive secretary in 1987, administrative secretary in 1988, and assistant city clerk in 1990. Her steadfast and unwavering commitment to excellence led to her appointment as city clerk on October the 8th, 2002, a position she has held with distinction and honor for over 21 years. And whereas in 2008, her outstanding leadership and exemplary service were acknowledged as she served as president of the Alabama Association of Municipal Clerks and Administrators, demonstrating her exceptional capabilities in the field. Her remarkable contributions were further recognized in 2019 when she was awarded the prestigious Municipal Clerk of the Year by the AAMCA, a testament to her unparalleled professionalism, expertise, and dedication to public service. And whereas throughout her tenure, Ms. Iva has exemplified the values of integrity, honesty, perseverance, serving as a liaison between citizens, elected officials, and various departments, and ensuring the efficient and effective functioning of local government. And whereas Ms. Iva's commitment to her community extends beyond her role as city clerk, as evidenced by her involvement in numerous community organizations, including her service as a United Way board member, a mentor for Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Northeast Alabama, and a dedicated pianist for her church. And whereas her dedication to her profession and her community has not gone unnoticed, as she has been recognized not only for her professional achievements, but also for her personal integrity and humility to the well-being of others. And whereas Ms. Nelson's leadership, guidance, and mentorship has inspired countless individuals within the city of Gadsden and beyond, leaving an indelible mark on all those who have had the privilege of knowing and working alongside her. And now, therefore, I, Craig Ford, Mayor of Gadsden, Alabama, do hereby join with the Gadsden City Council in proclaiming Saturday, March 23rd, 2024, as Iva Nelson Day in the city of Gadsden. In the city of Gadsden, honoring Miss Iva Nelson for her 40 years of dedicated service and unwavering commitment and exemplary leadership. I urge all citizens to join me in expressing our deepest appreciation and heartfelt gratitude. Iva, there's a signature line for you down here because Iva signs every one of these, but you haven't signed this one yet. So thank you, Mayor Ford, and your staff for a wonderful thing. And you know, the other thing I wanted to point out, Iva also, when we have city elections, she's in charge of that. And she's also the treasurer of the city of Gadsden. So there's a lot of hats that Iva wears and has to do. So Iva, I know you're quiet and you probably don't want to say anything, but please grace us with a few words, if you will.
Thank you so much. I am truly shocked, and this is so very humbling. So many nice things contained in that proclamation, and I certainly hope I've lived up to at least some of them. But I wouldn't be anything without my staff. I also always pay homage to my predecessor and my mentor, Martha Elrod, and everyone who works in the clerk's office. Just we're a team. Everything that has to be done, we all play a part in it, and we don't have, this is my little thing I do on my desk and someone else another little thing. We all jump in there and get done what needs to be done for the city. And I just really appreciate the opportunity to serve in this way, and it really doesn't seem like 40 years, so. But thank you so much. I'm very humbled and very appreciative of this.
Iva, the mayor also has a 40-year pin that I'm going to hand to you.
Oh, wow.
And also with the proclamation, I think we want to do a picture down
Oh,
here.
okay.
And that'll probably be the only 40-year pin I give out. But Iva, if you'll come down front, and I want to tell you why she's walking down front. I want everybody to watch her when she asks the council for a vote. I sit over there and I watch her. Every time she says, "What's the pleasure of the council?" and she just grins so pleasantly. And things can be a little tough at times, but she's still grinning, and she just does it with such a good Christian attitude. But I just want to tell you thank you for everything again. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to invite Justin, want to come up with your mom? Yes. Old, but I'm slow.
Councilman Wilson, if you can move to either left or right. Go down. Here, get in that hole.
He goes,
Yeah. Always.
Count of three. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, thank you.
Point of privilege.
Yes, yes, Councilman Wilson.
Mr. President, I just want to say, to Iva, one of the greatest traits that Iva has, and there are many, but she's the only person on the planet I know that can tell you flat out no with a smile on her face, and you walk out of there happy about it. And it might take you an hour or two before you get home and go, wait a minute, she said no. So it's easy to be happy and smiling when things are good. But the one thing I can say about Iva is she's always happy and smiling even when things are bad or even when times are tough, and that's a special skill set that you don't see in a lot of people. I've never seen her be shaken once. I've never seen her fall off one time, so it's a pleasure. Well deserved, Iva.
Anyone else on the council wish to say anything? All right, Larry.
Just a repeating of what Jason said. Probably not so much for myself. With these few years, it's been a very pleasant to work with you, but from the person that sat in this seat for many years that you started off with a few years ago, that's all he talks about, and you probably still get calls from him every day still. And so one of the things that he did advise me with getting this seat is to know that the smartest person at City Hall, no shame on anyone, is going to be Iva Nelson. She's going to know every single thing from the front end to the back end of City Hall, and so that was one of the things that he did say. So just in his place, and then also again honoring the thoughts, things that I've experienced with you thus far. Very appreciative. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course, just want to tell Ms. Iva we appreciate you so very much. It's been everything Councilman Williams told me it would be. He told me to make sure that whoever you get to know at City Hall, make sure that you get to know Ms. Iva real good. So I just want to appreciate you and all that you do week in and week out. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? All right. Well, okay, we will be moving on to Section 8, Item 8 in our agenda. The agenda items under unfinished business are ordinances authorizing conveyance of property from the City of Gadsden to the Gadsden City Board of Education, and were presented last week for first reading. Today we have 4 items to consider. Item 8A is an ordinance authorizing conveyance of property generally known as the Mitchell Community Center baseball and track soccer field. 8B is an ordinance authorizing conveyance of Walnut Park Elementary School and Walnut Park Community Center. Item 8C is an ordinance authorizing conveyance of the Raymond Hill and Ray Thompson Community Centers. And 8D is an ordinance authorizing conveyance of the track and soccer field adjacent to Gadsden City High School. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt all 4 ordinances.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Mr. President, this is something, I think a lot of this has already been done, if I'm not mistaken, legally. But this is just something that Ed Howard, their attorney, wanted us to go through the protocol of doing. Is that correct?
Yeah, what was told is he wanted to go through the real estate.
Okay, through the real estate. This is something they agreed on. I met with Mr. Blackwell this morning to let the council know. We had a wonderful meeting about a lot of the summer programs they're offering at these facilities, and we're already gearing up for the fall, having meetings with Mr. Blackwell and the school board. So I just want to let y'all know things are in motion.
Oh, good. Thanks. Thank you. All right. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt all 4 ordinances, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt all 4.
All right. Item 9, this is the time and place as advertised to conduct a public hearing allowing anyone to speak in opposition to or in favor of an ordinance rezoning property located at 800 Lay Street from an R1 one-family residence district to a B2 general business district. Family Savings Credit Union purchased the property to make an additional parking area for its customers. The Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this ordinance? Does anyone wish to speak in favor?
Mr. President, I'll speak in favor.
Sure.
Yeah, as a
Yes,
citizen.
Mayor.
But I just want to say what the Family Savings Credit Union does in East Gadsden is phenomenal, and their growth has been fantastic. and anything we can do as a city to help promote them and help promote the credit union is in our best interest.
That's right. Amen.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mayor Ford. Again, we're just requesting a rezone of a property from R1 to a B2 at 800 Lay Street. And again, as already been stated, the Planning Commission voted unanimously to recommend the request for this to be rezoned. And I think we have some representative here today. If they are still here, I would like for you to stand if you could. Any representatives from Family Savings that are here today? We just want to tell you thank you so much for being here, and we're in the city of Gadsden. We're excited about the growth and the opportunities there at Family Savings. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any other comments? If you would like, I want to ask.
If we could consider it today while they're here, I would appreciate that.
Sure,
If we
okay.
could pass it and vote on it.
All right. Does anyone would like to bring this up to be considered today?
I'll bring it up.
Bring it up, all right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Is that, everybody okay with moving forward? All right. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the ordinance today at its first reading, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, we have unanimous consent for immediate consideration.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Thank you. Thank you, Family Savings. I agree with Mayor Ford. You guys are doing great. What a growing institution, and we're proud to have you in Gadsden. Thank you. Agenda item 10 is our final public hearing. It's a resolution approving issuance of alcoholic beverage license, Ram Lala Incorporated, doing business as Liquor Express, located at 1218 West Meagan Boulevard in District 3. This is for a lounge retail liquor license, Class 2, which is a package store. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Does anyone wish to speak in favor? The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
Second.
Second. All right. Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 11 is a resolution awarding bid number 3551 for 2 ADA plus 4-station portable restroom trailers. The Purchasing and Building Maintenance Departments have recommended awarding the bid to National Restroom Trailers, and the amount is $126,912. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right, Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution,
Did you have a
Well, I was
comment? I'm sorry.
just for a point of clarification, just especially given the topics on the agenda today, I want to clarify that these trailers, one set of these trailers will be used at Carver. Is that correct? Isn't that correct? Yes. So one of these trailers will be stationed essentially permanently, even though they're portable, will be stationed permanently at Carver. And these are nice, air-conditioned, well-finished trailers for anybody who went to the Christmas on the Coosa that we did with the skating rink down by the river. If you use the restroom there, that's a good example of them. I mean, they're well-finished out, air-conditioned, insulated, portable systems. So
I do have a question since we're in that spirit.
Sure.
Real quick. Was there a reason given why there wasn't a key? I guess, similar to what I guess the portable restrooms would be operated similar as to Carver for those restrooms compared to the purchase of these restrooms?
Let's see. Mayor, I don't know if anybody's here to answer
John?
that.
So give me an example, I guess, how would these restrooms work when it comes to?
Yeah. Give him a chance to get to the microphone.
So I think the complaint in the past was that when the courtyard was rented or was being used out at Carver, we were charging a bathroom fee because we had to pay for employees to go down and unlock the facility, and then we would have to pay for folks to go back and lock the facility back up. And it's sort of, you know, solves that issue. Now we can have those bathrooms, and we can put the codes in there with the locks on the doors, and so now we can just issue out a code, and we change those codes out when people use the Carver, and so I think at the end of the day that will actually solve the problem.
So give a code to the group or the organization.
Right, and so anybody who wants to use that facility will actually have a bathroom now available without having to actually go into the Carver facility.
So to be clear, so there's no longer a key, there's a code.
So we'll actually change those locks. That was sort of the whole goal, was to get it to where we change those codes out. And so when somebody rents the Carver Square, you know, we'll give those codes to those bathrooms.
All right.
Yep.
Any other questions? All right, well, clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 12 is a resolution creating and amending job classifications. This adds the job classification of Network Administrator Assistant at pay range G6 and Assistant City Engineer at pay range G12. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right, clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 13 is a resolution authorizing economic development agreement with Backpack Brands LLC to locate a Game Day Fresh Grill restaurant at 1001 Rainbow Drive. This is to grant a rebate of 2% of the city's 5% sales tax proceeds for a period of 5 years from the opening date or until a total of $250,000 has been paid to the developer, whichever comes first. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Mr.
Yes, Mayor Ford.
I was just going to say, I want to say thanks to John Moore and the Commercial Development Board for bringing this to Gadsden. This will be huge. This is another restaurant coming. So we're real excited about this, and thank you to the council for considering this.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, just for clarification purposes, again, this is Game Day Sports Grill, and it's going into the former Trey Regazzi's there in the Gadsden Mall development next to the alley on the backside there. Again, from what I understand, and I've looked into the operation, family-friendly sports bar and grill, burgers, hot wings, things like that, but they're investing several $100,000 into the project. I think a total of $550,000 that they're putting into it. And again, just because of the audience here, I never miss an opportunity to explain this, but when we give these rebates and these incentive programs, that's exactly what they are. They're rebates. We don't give money up front to entities that are building new projects in Gadsden. We sign agreements in the form of a rebate, meaning they have to invest all the money they say they're going to invest. They have to open up. They have to generate all the sales. They have to pay those sales taxes in. And then once the city receives those sales taxes, we agree to give them a rebate of a certain percentage of it back. So the point is, we're not playing with the taxpayers' dollars here. The only way we're willing to give a rebate is if they've generated new tax revenue for the city, then we'll give a little bit of it back to them for a brief period of time to incentivize them to come and do these projects. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Wilson. Any other comments? Okay, clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Ms. Nelson, I would need to offer to abstain due
Okay.
to a prior business relationship with one of the owners of the
Okay, we
company.
have one abstention. Motion carries to adopt.
Item 14 is a resolution authorizing agreement with TextMyGov. This is for a text messaging communications platform to be managed by the Public Affairs Department for certain communications, marketing, public safety, and other municipal notification needs. The cost for 1 year is $9,900 with an annual fee of $9,000 for each year thereafter. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, this is really timely. I was actually having a discussion with some folks on social media earlier about this that said, hey, I heard the city's doing this awesome thing. It would really be helpful if you guys could, if there was a better way for you to communicate and get the word out on stuff like this. And I said, well, it's funny you mentioned that, because next week, actually, we're going to approve this TextMyGov thing. So again, what this will allow us to do is to send mass text messages every time we have an initiative. For example, when we have an amnesty day for garbage, or when we bring out the roll-off dumpsters for debris and household items, and we'll be able to send out mass text messages to all the citizens of Gadsden at one time, letting them know about these initiatives. So this is awesome. I think it's going to be a great tool for the city.
Yes. Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 15 is a resolution accepting conveyance of property located on Furman Drive. The Industrial Development Board has offered to donate the property to the city for expansion of the city's inert landfill. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right, clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 16 is new business. I believe we have a few items today. Councilwoman Latham.
Yes, Council President, I have 2024, I don't know, net. 2024-267 special use for Verizon Wireless, and this is at 1937 Spring Rock Street. This resolution is for a special use permit for Verizon Wireless to modify the equipment on the existing wireless telecommunication facility located at 1937 Spring Rock Street, Gadsden, Alabama. This was approved by the City Council of the City of Gadsden on the 7th day of November 2022. The special use permit and building permit for the modification of Verizon wireless equipment expired on the 6th day of May 2023. Verizon Wireless has requested an extension of the special use permit for the modification of their equipment to provide enhanced 5G service for the location. I would like for this to be considered today.
Second.
All right, clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today as an item of new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Mr. President, I have a couple. The first comes to us from the Engineering Department, which is authorizing the approval of a proposal from S&ME for services for environmental consulting services on a piece of property located adjacent to the airport. This is part of the process for the new ultra-safe nuclear plant that is being built out by the airport. The FAA has some engineering requirements and some things we have to do. So the total cost of this consulting services agreement is $15,500, and this will allow us to move forward with the location of that new industry by the airport. So I would ask that we suspend the rules and consider this under new business today, please.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution as an item of new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
And Mr. President, the next one, and this is actually really exciting, this is a resolution authorizing an agreement with Chambliss King Architects, LLC, out of Montgomery in the amount of $252,000. And this is allowing the mayor to execute this agreement between the city and Chambliss King to provide professional design and planning services for our riverfront master plan. So as you all know, the Grow Gadsden plan that we just completed with Goodwin Mills Kaywood was a citywide plan. And now that we have that citywide plan in place, the next step is for a specific riverfront master plan that will define our riverfront, the entertainment zones. It'll define the different zoning and areas that we want to create and establish. This is going to be world class. It's what everybody in this town's been waiting on for 40 years. You know, you hear people say every day, why don't we do more with our river? Well, this is going to be the master plan that defines that. And it's going to be really, I mean, we've already seen some of the drawings and the renderings, just initial concepts, and it's going to be out of this world. You guys are, I think the citizens as a whole are going to be blown away by this. But with that in mind, so everybody could get started, and just to be clear, this is not new money. This is budgeted money from the engineering department, so we're not moving any money from our undesignated funds or anything like that to pay for this. So with that in mind, I'd like to ask that we suspend the rules and consider this under new business today, please.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution as an item of new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
That's all I have,
That's all you
Mr.
have?
President. Yeah.
Mr. President,
Counsel.
I have Resolution 268. I would also like to suspend the rules and bring this up as new business today. This is authorizing a lease agreement with the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, or ALEA, for a lease agreement for Fire Station Number 2 at the airport. This will continue as a fire station with designated areas. There'll be a slight renovation, but the ALEA group will be leasing this for an amount that will serve a 5-year term for $3,621 per month.
There's a second. All right. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today as an item of new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
I believe that concludes all the new business. So item 17 is department reports, committees, and boards. I believe we have one coming today. I thought we might get to see you when I was watching the news, or the weather last night, I should say.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, President, Council. That was not me. So yes, we are under severe weather threat this afternoon. We most likely will get a tornado watch issued sometime after lunch. We've been in contact with National Weather since yesterday, kind of tracking this system as it develops and moves in. Our biggest threat is going to be damaging winds and hail. Now, that's not saying that there will be no tornadoes. There's always that possibility. Of course, conditions have to be absolutely right for that to happen. But our timeline right now is about 6 p.m. to about midnight is when this is projected to enter our area. Damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour, hail up to a ping pong size. And of course, as soon as we go under a tornado watch, our EOC will be activated. We're actually down there right now, have been since this morning, making sure everything's prepped, making sure that we have just about every radar imaginable up so that we can track this as it moves across the state. And then we will update all of the interested parties as we get the information as well. So we just wanted to make sure everybody was aware. Our shelter Etowah will be up and running as soon as we go under a tornado watch, and remind everybody to have at least 2 ways to receive notifications, either through our Everbridge notification system, local news, and then there's also the outdoor warning sirens as well, should those be needed.
All right, thank you very much for being here today. Anybody got any questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Derek. Any other reports from committees or boards, department heads? Seeing none, we'll move on to citizen requests. Joseph Cole has asked to speak today. Mr. Cole is going to speak about toilets at Carver and the mayor and council communications with the public. Good afternoon, Mr. Cole.
Good afternoon to you, and I would like for y'all to suspend the rules and let me speak for 7 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. But I would just like to say, in conjunction with the mayor and the president of the council, one thing we 100% agree on, and that's Ms. Iva Nelson. She really is a jewel. She's been full of information. It's the only place I can come here and walk in the office and everybody smile. Everywhere else I go, they throwing darts at me, but not in Ms. Nelson's office. Seriously, you took away part of what I wanted to say today with the toilet situation at Carver, and I want to thank you all for that situation. I passed out some forms for you to look at, and that is the Carver Park. And I just want you to see the condition of that park. And hopefully, one day we can do something about it, because we have black and white kids that play out there, and there's some dangerous areas out there too. So hopefully when you get to do some work on the parks, that you will take time and try to do something about Carver Park. I just wanted to say, Mr. President, I think one thing that I think the council could do that would be very helpful, if you were to let people see the pre-council meeting, if it was televised. A whole lot go on in pre-council, and people will actually get a chance to see how the city works. When they come here on council day, basically all your work has been done, and people really don't know or understand what's going on. But if they are viewing it televised in the pre-council, they will get a full look on how the council actually works. So I hope y'all give some strong consideration to doing that, because I think it would be very, very helpful. Also, and like I say, you cut off my time, you cut my legs away from under, Mr. Mayor, but I want to say this. In dealing with the communication I said with the mayor and the council, it's specifically to the mayor and to you, Mr. President, and this is in behest of the black citizens of this city. Mr. Mayor, I was in a meeting with you some months ago, and you agreed that you wanted to come on WMGJ, and Mr. Reverend Dudley said he would interview you. We want you to come. We want you to speak to the people. You can come once a month. If you can't come, we can do it in your office and open it up where citizens may have questions that you can answer as mayor. The same thing applies to you too, Mr. President. We want the city to be together, not white, black, but people need to know what's going on, and they do have questions. And coming to council meeting does not necessarily answer the question, because all of your work has been done. So at least give that opportunity, and then if you decide you want to do once a month, come 3 or 4 once a quarter, you don't have to worry about me. I won't be asking you the question. Reverend Dudley can take care of you, and also the mayor. And if any of you council members want to come, to let people know what you are doing in your district, the door is open. We need to try to come together. Each time I come, it doesn't mean I'm going to jump on you. I'm going to bring issues. But in order for anything to be done in this city, we all must work together. Whether you like or dislike a person, it's not about that, it's about the citizens. And if we can do that, I think we can go a long ways. So thank you very much. I hope y'all take a look at that, and hopefully we can do something, because the park is really dangerous. We have black and white kids who play out there daily. So hopefully we can get to a point where we can do something about Carver Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cole. All right, we'll move on to section 19. It's remarks by the mayor and council. Mayor Ford, would you like to start us off today?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Joseph Gold, for allowing me to do that. I do try to go on a lot of communication venues, and I'm sorry I haven't been on there, but I've been on a lot. I feel like I do something all the time, but I'll continue to do that. I want to remind everybody of the cleanup day that's coming up. Last year, we completed this cleanup day. If y'all all remember, council all participated, and we were in your districts. I think y'all headlined your district, and this year we're allowing the public to participate with us, and we'll divide them up. It'll be similar to last year. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it, and it worked out wonderfully last year. We'll be providing lunch. We'll have T-shirts, and it'll be a great day of cleanup. I think 11 tons of trash, or somewhere in that 5.5. That's close. I doubled it. But we did 5.5 tons of trash picking up in the community, which I thought was fantastic. This Friday, the Gadsden Museum of Art will open their student art exhibit featuring artists from all over Etowah County. There will be an opening reception from 5 to 8. The public is invited. First Friday kicks off this Friday in downtown Gadsden. The city of Gadsden is hiring right now. Numerous openings are in public works, dispatch, police, and we have one position open in fire. We were at 100%. We had a retirement, so we're proud of that, but that allowed us to have one more opening. These are full-time jobs with full benefits. If you know someone looking, please go to cityofgadsden.com/jobs. That's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Ford. Councilwoman Latham.
Thank you, President Beck. I just wanted to congratulate Ms. Nelson on 40 years. I've mentioned to her before just the grace that she has to serve in that position, because I know, we 7 different council people, and I've said this before. She listens to each of us, and sometimes she's in the middle of 2 or 3 of us, but she so graciously does it to where Councilman Wilson said it, that same smile. We never know whether she agrees or disagrees or taking side with the other one. So congratulations on 40 years, and I pray that the Lord will continue to bless you with that grace to continue in this position. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, also congratulations, Ms. Iva. We appreciate all you do. I know everybody appreciate what you do here, but I mean, when we traveling, y'all, she's still taking care of us. When we have to go to D.C. or Kansas City, she's babysitting us, she's watching over us, she's telling us what we can do, what we can't do. It's a blessing to have her around. I called Councilman Williams. I said, "Hey man, do Ms. Iva keep up with us when we traveling?" She said, "Yeah, she gonna keep a tight rope on you." So I appreciate it. My wife appreciate that too. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you, Mayor Ford, your office and your staff for all that you do. I hope everybody had a great Easter. Do want to give a big shout out. I'm not a Beyonce fan, but I saw on Councilman Wilson's page that Beyonce's new album, she mentions Gadsden, Alabama, giving her grandfather credit for his root system here. You've been hearing it up here. Gadsden is on the map. That album is played, I think, 100 million times already. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Gadsden. Again, thank you all for all that you do. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Avery.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to give a couple announcements here. CCRC is presenting First Saturday coming soon on May 4th. Begins at 4 p.m., I think, to about 10 p.m. So they have sign-ups and all that good stuff as it relates to community activity, food trucks, and the whole host of music artists and things of that nature. So participate on your calendar with the May 4th, 4 p.m. as it relates to that community activity. Gadsden Parks and Rec Summer Camp has began registration. And I think those camps begin June 3rd through July the 26th. So make sure that you put your children in something productive, if possible. You can this summer, so that we can have a really good summer for our children, for our communities as well. Want to also give a date to put on your calendar, save the date, is for April the 27th, and this is a District 3 event that is, of course, all District 3 events is open to all public, but they are held in District 3. But it's a last will and testament free event. We'll have attorneys present, we'll have notaries there, and we'll have pre-planning memorial arrangements done by one of our local funeral services as well that will give educations on these topics. So we'll have those professionals there for this event. This event is again April the 27th, and then we'll come back with you with a time and place. Also, for an annual event that I just adopted from once coming into council is a day of service in District 3. We will have that on April the 23rd, which is a Saturday. We'll come back to you with a time, and we'll also come back with the location, the starting location. And we are partnered with PALS and Keep Edgewater Beautiful as it relates to products. So we just need volunteers. We have Gadsden City on board again, and a few other organizations that have already called and RSVP to volunteer. No products are needed. We have plenty of bags that were sent up from Montgomery. We have plenty of pickup sticks. We have safety vests, things of that nature. We just need your bodies and your will to give a service back to the community. And so we'll strategically study the areas of where we'll be, and then we'll dispatch from there. But keep in mind, April the 23rd, that's a day of service in D3, and we appreciate it. That ends my remarks.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Wilson?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have one thing. I know that Councilman Smith said he's not really a fan of Beyonce, but a lot of people in this town probably don't know this. We actually have a Beyonce super fan on the staff here at the City of Gadsden, and that is none other than City Attorney Lee Roberts, big head of their fan club. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Manatra.
This Saturday, April the 6th, is the kickoff to walking tours for Gadsden. This is the first year that we're going to participate, and our own Michael Rogers is the tour guide for this Saturday's event. Meet at
Forest Hinton is this Saturday, but behind the Cultural Arts Center at 10.
Yes, at 9:45. All the details you can get on the Greater Gadsden Tourism website. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Roberts also, I wasn't supposed to say this, but he does. He has a Beyonce shirt underneath this suit right there. If he wants to show it to us real quick, that'd be awesome. No, not gonna do it. Just want to congratulate Miss Iva for her 40 years, and like Councilman Smith said, when you go out of town, she does take care of you. There's been time, you land the plane, you're in the Uber getting, she's already texted you, did you have a good flight? Are you almost here? I'm at the hotel looking through my agenda, like where am I supposed to be next? All of a sudden my phone whistles, and she's like, reminder, you got to be here, here, and here. So she does a great job. I know I appreciate her for the short time I've been here. That's all, Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Well, I'll continue the Iva accolades. Iva, thank you so much for your service and how you do take care of not only us, but the entire city. She's kind of the historian. All the records, there has to be paper records of everything that is said in these meetings or any other meetings, and the city clerk's office is responsible for that. So Iva takes care of that for the city. There's countless, it would take all day to tell you the things that the city clerk's office does that she's ultimately responsible for. So, and she does have quite a following statewide. There's people come up to her, no matter where we are, people are wanting to speak to her. She's kind of like Elvis. Everybody wants to speak to her. Everybody wants to kind of, hey, how are you, and stuff. So it's an honor to be a friend and to be a colleague. So thank you so much. Wanted to also point out my friend Chief Crane. Chief, don't be mad at me, but Chief Crane and my brother, same age, graduated Gadsden High School in 1972, and I believe right after that is when you joined the Navy. Is that right? So from 1972 until just a few weeks ago, John Crane, Chief Crane, he's been a servant. He was in the Navy for I think 8 years. I can't believe you were on a submarine for all that time. That's unbelievable. It
explains a lot.
It does explain a lot, yeah. But thank you for your service to our country. And then 26 years at the City of Birmingham Police Department, rose to the rank of one of the assistant chiefs, and of course served as our chief here. I mean, you've got about 48 years, if my math, or 50 years almost of just public service. So thank you for having that kind of heart and for that kind of courage, and thank you for how you've served our community. And we're glad you came back home a few years ago, and glad you're still with us. So thank you. I want to also point out, y'all probably noticed, citizens, there's radar signs in our city. I think we bought about 11. Is that right, Mayor? The mayor and the chief of police know that that's not going to make everybody slow down, okay? But what we're trying to hope to do is to do some control, and Tina King is a very vital part of that. We're trying to let people know that you're going too fast on a neighborhood street that's got a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit and you're going 50. So that it'll go up to 25, then it starts telling you to slow down and it flashes. So please do that. Please, if you see that sign and if it's telling you to slow down, it's talking to you, and please slow down. You're in a neighborhood. You shouldn't be going over 25 miles an hour. There's children, there's people walking, there's, all kind of things that, it's just not designed for that kind of speed. So bear with us as we work on even on other measures that the mayor's office is working on in conjunction with the police department on traffic calming. That's just one tool that we're trying to use to help do that. I want to congratulate Mayor Ford. Thank you for being at the junior community college today. Congratulations to Gadsden State bringing back baseball, softball, and cross country. And they're doing it at the Gadsden Sports Park, of which we're a partner with, and the city has committed financially to help, and it's just a great partnership, and I commend Mayor Ford for furthering that partnership that's been there for a number of years. I know Dr. Murphy's very pleased with all the meetings and conversations, and y'all, if you haven't been over to the Gadsden Sports Park, you need to go over there. It's looking really good, and spring is here, and it's going to be greener, and it's going to look a lot better. So and there's some other projects still that are ongoing, and so there is construction, so just be aware of that when you go there. I wanted to also point out, I saw Brett Johnson mentioned a grant that the airport received, a $239,000 grant from the from the state, right? And that is coupled with about $1 million grant from the federal government for runway improvement. The airport it's a whole new day at the Gadsden Airport, the Northeast Alabama Regional Airport. So thank you for what you're doing, your leadership out there, Mayor and Brett. I know that's part of your duty. And Anthony Tarver's doing a great job. So just thank y'all for what you're doing. It's exciting to see the improvements that are made. Mayor Ford mentioned First Friday. That'll kick off this Friday. So everybody be aware of that. Downtown will kind of get some blockades going up around 3 o'clock or so. And that's, there's 10 or 15,000 of your closest friends will be there. So be sure to show up and have a lot of fun. So y'all, we've had a great day at City Hall today. There's a lot of great things. Maybe the most exciting thing is what Councilman Wilson brought up for new business was the architectural firm Chambliss King. They have done projects. If you go to Montgomery, Wetumpka, Gunnersville, everybody brags on Gunnersville, which, well, they should. Sand Mountain up here at the park, that's the firm that designed all of that. And now they're going to come to Gadsden, and now it's our turn. So be looking forward to seeing what they present to the mayor's office and to the council. And they're an excellent firm. Their work speaks for themselves, and looking really forward to seeing what comes next out of that group. So thank you for being here today, and we'll see you next week.